Hey, folks, welcome to the Political Nooner, Ghost Town Politics. I'm your host, Rachel's Ghost, without the benefit of my loving partner here, Blake McKenzie. Blake adds a lot to the discussion, to the show. I love the guy. He's a super good guy, very intelligent, very knowledgeable, but I'm without his services today. But I am joined by my lovely wife, Scoozy, who's in the kind of behind scenes here. She does the heavy lifting. I say, oh, can you bring me a link? Do a thing. A lot of information in the news the last 24 hours to prove very interesting. Donald John Trump, President of the United States, my guy, he went on the Maria Baratomola. I never know how to say her name. It's a nice Italian name. I'm not Italian. But she is. Bertamolo. Anyway, he was on there. It was a great interview. They had a great discussion. Some very telling information came out, and kind of a Trump bombshell that sent reverberations, especially up here in Canada where I am. I'm on the west coast of Canada, but believe you me, I am all for America. I'm hoping against hope that Canada will become the 51st state. I'm in that camp. Not a fan of Pierre Poilievre, the conservative, quote, leader in Canada. Not a fan. Obviously, I'm not a fan of Carney. My guy up here is kind of Pierre Poilievre, if anybody. But ultimately, I just think the best solution would be, we tried. It worked for a while. Canada did great. But now it's time to bag it. And let's just join America. Hey, I got Transformer, Lou Reed, legend. We love him. Vinyl Gorilla, that's Dobbsy. He's in the house. Holy smokes, Dobbsy. And Cheryl, we love Cheryl. Hello, folks. All right, let's get this on. Let's see how Trump did on this interview. This is fantastic. I just love this. Can you make that as big as you can? You see that? Yeah, that's what I like. All right, let's play it.
Just sometime prior to the 9th is we'll send a letter to all these countries. There's 200 countries. You can't talk to all of them, no matter how many people you have. You can't talk to all of them. We'll send a letter and we'll say we would consider it a great honor, and this is what you'll have to do to shop in the United States. We're like a department store to shop in the United States, and you'll pay a 25% tariff. And we wish you a lot of luck, and that's the end of the trade deal, because we have something that nobody has. But if I didn't get elected, I'm telling you, we wouldn't have had a country left. You know that better than anybody. Nobody covers it better than you. If I didn't turn this thing around, this big ship around, we turned it around just like those ships coming out of China. They were coming and loaded, and in the middle of the ocean, they were forced to go back because at 145% tariff, Walmart, nobody wanted their product. And that caused a big problem for China. And then I helped China. So by reducing it.
We still don't know. We don't have the clarity on what you're going to do with these expiration of these pauses. July 9?
No, I thought I just said it. No, I thought I just said it. You ready?
You're going to send letters.
I'm going to send letters. That's the end of the trade deal. I could send one to Japan. Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story. You're going to pay a 25% tariff on your cars, So we give Japan.
All right. So really good news. So this is an amazing thing. So the president comes out and says, I'm going to send letters to all these governments, these leaders. I can't meet with everybody. I'm just going to do a blanket letter campaign by July 9th. Ladies and gentlemen, it's June 30th. This is one of those months with 30 days in them, not 31. Tomorrow is July 1st. So essentially, in just over a week, a whole bunch of countries, China, where I'm at, included. And man, he knows how to deal. He knows how to deal with commies. He knows how to deal with globalists. He knows how to deal with anybody. He operates from a position of strength. Trump holds all the cards. Trump holds, dare I say it, the Trump card. Carney doesn't have a hope in hell at taking him down. The GDP of the United States is so big, so massive, so powerful vis-a-vis Canada. It's not even close. He knows how to deal with tough opposition, Yeah, of course he does. Mi presidente Trump. El mejor del mundo facto. Si, senora. Absolutely. It's the biggest in the world. It's a fact. We love them. Okay, so the next link I got in this, because this unfolded in the morning, okay? That night, I think Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, saw Trump on Bartamola's show, and Trump's going, I'm just going to send these fuckers a letter on July 9th, and that'll be it. Unilaterally determined by us, we're going to do it. Because Canada had this big elbows up thing, said they were going to bring a digital tax in on all the American tech companies, okay? So that would have been the X platform, YouTube, Netscape, anything digital coming out of the United States into Canada, they were going to do a charge. And of course, the people paying it would have been the Canadians. Like if I want to have my X platform, I'd be paying more for it. They were going to tax it and all this. And that would be PayPal and Patreon. I've got a Patreon going. Lots of trouble in lots of quarters. All right, so let's take a look now at this post here. And let's see. Okay, yeah, this is pretty big. I don't know what Donald Trump is doing for Americans, but he just cut a $7 billion tax cut for us up here in Canada. $7 billion we're saving because that's what that surcharge would have been. That's what the retroactive tariff was going to equate for Canadians. So our access to American platforms, digital platforms, would have been punitive, and many people would have had to bail on them. Many Canadians would not be able to afford this. And of course, when the Canadians start bailing, we don't pay for it, then the American tech companies lose money because people are going to bail. We're not going to buy your product anymore because it's too expensive. Government of Canada rescinds digital services tax to advance broader trade negotiations with the United States. And that is coming from the Department of Finance Canada. That is our official governmental response. What I love about this is Ezra Levant from Rebel Television. He's hitting it hard. He says Canada just saved itself billions of dollars in further tax revenue for those of us that would have held on, with all our might onto American platforms. Because I don't want Canadian platforms. The next link I've got for you, Sue, I believe it says Gander in it. Digital tax. Yeah, Gander social media. Third link down. Let's see. I also believe there's a strong Chinese influence in the Canadian government. Well, I mean, your belief is not ill-founded. Your belief has been supported by what's known as Census, the Canadian Intelligence Services. They already know. And we had 11 members of parliament, essentially Canadian versions of U.S. Congress people that were identified as being co-opted by the Chinese government. Nothing's being done about it, of course. So I love this. Petrified, well, I can't even say this guy's name here, but anyway, as an elbows up protest of American social media, if you guys need me, I'll be joining at Rachel Gilmore, who's a leftist kind of, God, what do you call it? She's just like a leftist that you would have like a Rachel Maddow or a Jen Psaki or one of those in the U.S. Like she's a Canadian frickin' leftist piece of crap. Yeah, anyway. So I'll be joining Rachel Gilmore on Gander. Find me at something parent at gander.gayretarded. Tech leaders ready launch of Canadian social media platform Gander to buck U.S. dominance. And then it's, the article, and here's the thing, and the guy writing about it. So what this is, ladies and gentlemen, very clearly what happened is Canada had, just in time for the digital services tax, they thought they were going to get this elbows up. They were going to be full speed ahead and have a huge victory on their hands against America in their mind. But more importantly, and this really speaks to what they really wanted, governmental control. You can't afford X. You can't afford YouTube. You can't afford Rumble. You can't afford any American tech provider Well, don't worry about it, Canadians. We've got our own called Gander. Okay, take a gander, government money put into it. And, they're selling it. There'll be no surveillance of you. This from the same people that actually surveilled 80 million smartphones of Canadian citizens during the sickness period of about 4 or 5 years ago, if you remember that thing that came through. So they had this social digital platform all created. And the idea was, let's make it so burdensome that Canadians can't go to these other platforms and hear truth. Let's control the narrative by funneling all these Canadians onto our own state-controlled social platform called Gander. We'll have the control. We'll pull the strings. Burn the state! Burn the state! And so fortunately, all of this has failed. Now Gander is guaranteed to fail because there's no way it's going to be able to stand in the face of the X platform, which I'm involved with over on X. And I'll just drop a link if you're interested in following my little activities over there. Copy. Boom. So this is me over on the X platform. Boom. I'm Rachel's Ghost VC. I put the VC, that's vinyl community. I got Lou Reed here, rocking Lou Reed. Transfer, by the way, sounds incredible on this stereo Walk on the Wild Side. But anyway, so a little bit of a kind of a drama unfolding. Trump appears on Baratomola. By July 9th, I'm unilaterally going to put sanctions on you, Canada, these heavy tariffs. And then what happened was Carney got wind of it, said we better come to an agreement on this thing fast. They knew what Trump wanted. The deal's off on the digital services trap. Trump specifically mentioned that as why he's ceasing all communication with Canada. As a follow-up, Sue, can you provide our fun-filled follow-up? We got a follow-up on this now. The fourth one down, U.S. back to the table. So it's a ping pong game, right? They're playing tennis back and forth, back and forth. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce this. Imagine if they had just scrapped the ridiculous tax long before these trade talks. Now they look even more foolish. It's Ryan Gertson. He's a good account to follow on the X platform. White House confirms the U.S. will restart trade talks with Canada. All right. So in the vernacular, they'll use a colloquial expression. Canada fucked around and Canada found out. And not really Canada, not really its citizenry, although they are, to be blamed on some level. I certainly didn't vote for this clown Carney. I'm not interested in voting for Pierre Poilievre or any of it. I just love Donald Trump, and I think he's a genius. I think how he's handling things. He knows he's operating from a position of strength. And the proof of it, all the talk, all the politics, all the tongue wagging, it means nothing if at the end of the day, Trump gets what he wants. And he got what he wanted out of this. He was all talking with Canada. Canada decided to flex unwisely. Trump bopped him in the mouth, said, okay, we're not talking. You'll see my letter on July 9th. Deal with that, retards. And it punched him.
Speaking of Chinese infiltration.
Okay, let's take a look. What do we got here? Sue's just got Chinese infiltration. Dan Bongino, the director, and I, Kash Patel, are absolutely committed to clean up the plague of public corruption. We're committed to weeding out CCP, scheming, and illicit influence campaigns. Corrupt public officials are on notice. This case is not even the beginning of the beginning. You know who you are, so do we. And I'll say again, we're absolutely not asking for anyone's, quote, trust in us. We're in the results business, and the trust will come as the results materialize. Bookmark this tweet. You will see. God bless America. Praise God for God. And all those that defend her. Amen. Former high-ranking New York State government employee has been charged with acting as an undisclosed agent of the People's Republic of China and the Chinese Communist Party. So that's justice. So the FBI, the American intelligence agencies, is not unaware of what's going on. This is no longer Biden's administration. This is a Trump administration, and results are expected. And we're seeing the beginnings of things. And like Dan Bongino says, don't take our word for it. Just wait. Please be patient with us. He's saying, we're not even in the first. We're still in the first year. We're still in kind of just ending the first half year of this president's administration. Amazing. So this is where the disenfranchised hang out to some extent. Yeah. This is where the last of the free thinking Americans hang out. Yeah, to some extent. Yeah. I've got a good one here. I think I got a YouTube one. I wanted to talk about YouTube, just kind of what's going on. Did I get a YouTube one? No, I didn't bring a YouTube one. Ladies and gentlemen, the Quartings, Jeremy from the Quartering, it's a program out here. He's been saying, and other people are saying, this channel has been locked at 132 subscribers for like 2 weeks. It's like dead in the water. YouTube's doing a new thing. Like in the old days, they would just kind of kill your account and get rid of you. Now they've got enough control over their own system where they realize that they can make you to none effect for channel growth. What does that mean? It means, kids, that I'm really dependent upon you sharing this video on various social media platforms, telling your friends about it. Anybody, that has sympathetic ear to the kind of stuff that Blake and I discuss here. And put a like on every video. That helps to some extent, but not really. Like I got 13 people watching right now. I got to tell you, what I'm used to, I run a vinyl community channel, and because it's not as political, it doesn't get flagged the same way. So I get like 1,200 views. I do one show a week. I get 1,200 views on every episode. So it's kind of it's a lot different. So here, because we're so forthright, we talk about everything except that disease from about 4 years ago. And the other thing we're not allowed to talk about on the platform is election interference to any real or meaningful extent. So we wait for a time and a place and a season when that can occur as more information is forthcoming. This is correct. China did go directly for the governors of our states here in America. These governors need to be put on Front Street and called out for these back channel deals. You're absolutely right about that. We had, what was his name? And Pompeo. Mike Pompeo came out and he had a governor's general during Trump's first administration and said, look, guys, we know China's talking to you people. We know that they've reached out. We're aware of it. Okay. And for the, for those that are the uninitiated, Pompeo's not a good guy. Pompeo's not MAGA in any way, shape, or form. Go ahead, Sid.
I was saying he just went out there and said, you guys better start flying, right? Because we're on to you.
They are being, all this is being documented, and now there's nothing hidden that's not going to be coming to light. There's a lot of information coming to light. We're seeing it. A great story that broke today on that front. But just keep in mind, before I move on, that YouTube is crippling all these channels. And even the big channels like, the Quartering and some of the, Robert Gouvier and all these kind of channels, they are absolutely getting throttled by YouTube's algorithm. So be aware of that. Rachel, it could be just that this show is poorly ran, has no direction. That's why you've seen no growth. Incorrect, Brad. I like your plucky attitude there with that. I think that's good. But no, that's not it. It's not true. It's not accurate. Do you know why, Brad? Because there's millions of people that are sympathetic to my political viewpoint. Millions of people. In fact, there's more people sympathetic to my viewpoint than there are sympathetic to your viewpoint. That's important for you to recognize. The lie that we are a minority is simply not true. Okay, some great news. I mean, this has been a week of winning. We won big on Friday at the Supreme Court on a couple of key decisions, most notably rogue judges getting curtailed, getting roped down. That's very important. But we just won a big one today, and this has far-reaching implications. Breaking. The DOJ just announced the takedown of the largest health insurance fraud in American history, ladies and gentlemen. This is the biggest ever. This is huge. The transnational criminal organization stole over 1 million Americans' identities, your identity compromised. These criminals didn't just steal someone else's money, they stole from you with every fraudulent claim. This law enforcement action involves the seizure of cash as well as luxury vehicles, properties, and we are returning real money to American taxpayers. Sue, can you make that big and let's roll it? It's only 3.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew Gagliotti, and I'm the head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. Thank you all for joining us today as we announce the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice. Today marks a decisive moment in our fight to protect American taxpayers from fraudsters and to defend the integrity of America's healthcare system. We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs. In a takedown this large, I can't possibly describe all of the work that went into dismantling each scheme, but there are 4 key points that bear emphasizing. First, let me be clear about what these healthcare fraud schemes mean for every hardworking American family. These criminals didn't just steal someone else's money. They stole from you. Every fraudulent claim, every fake billing, every kickback scheme represents money taken directly from the pockets of American taxpayers who fund these essential programs through their hard work and sacrifice. And when criminals defraud these programs, they're not just committing theft. They're driving up our national deficit and threatening the long-term viability of healthcare for seniors, disabled Americans, and our most vulnerable citizens. This enforcement action involves the seizure of cash, as well as luxury vehicles and properties, returning real money to American taxpayers and to our government healthcare programs. Second, we are seeing a disturbing trend of transnational criminal organizations engaging in increasingly sophisticated and complex criminal schemes that defraud the American healthcare system. As part of this takedown, we've identified and charged defendants operating from Russia, Eastern Europe, Pakistan, and other foreign countries. These individuals have infiltrated our healthcare system to steal American taxpayer dollars. As just one example, we dismantled a scheme involving a sophisticated operation run from Russia and Eastern Europe that strategically bought dozens of medical supply companies in the United States and submitted more than $10 billion in fraudulent healthcare claims to Medicare. To make matters worse, these perpetrators used the stolen identities of more than 1 million Americans spanning all 50 states to perpetrate this scheme and submit these false claims.
All right, so the
Wow.
link is out there, so if you put it, but it's $14 billion. 300 plus people have been arrested in this operation, and the fact that justice is coming here is an incredible thing. This show has direction, Brad Teal, to speak to your point. It has no direction. You know what the direction is? It's simply to work as a clearinghouse, almost encapsulate a summary source of various news stories that are breaking across the wire.
I've got a story that Brad could probably relate to here.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Okay, Sue's got another story. Anyway, tremendous work on that, and that's real money, as they said, coming into the coffers. All right, Brad, here you go. There you go. I'll make it happen. All right, so the usual nonsense. It's a pride parade. I guess people are running around naked, with their ding-dongs or whatever the fuck. Thank God, that month is over. Oh man, I tell you, I saw a post today about Indigo. A Canadian Indigo is like our version. Indigo Chapters are a bookstore chain that are our equivalent up here on this side of the border to Barnes and Noble. And when Pride Month comes out, they go absolutely nuts and they throw in all this propaganda on children. It's absolutely, it's culture shock when you go in there because the proselytizing and the proclamation of an agenda that is counter to conservative values is on rampant, dare I use the word rampant display there. Watching an old bag, Doomscroll X with chubby 50-year-old something named Blake McKay isn't the most entertaining premise. Well, I mean, if you have some problem with the host, why the fuck are you here anyway, Brad? Shouldn't you be getting your ass scratched by some pygmy out in the fucking jungle somewhere, buddy? I mean, you're kind of fucked up. You know what? I'll help you out. I just blocked your ass.
Thank you.
Fuck you. All right? I need him like I need a fucking enema. All right? Fucking Brad Teal. Goodbye, Brad. See you, buddy. All right. That's good. That's that fucking pimple off my ass is done. No, he's a fucking retard.
No, the thing is, Brad used to be kind of a nice, kind of middle-aged guy.
Yeah.
Now he's just a middle-aged.
He's just a better liberal idiot.
Yeah.
You
sad.
know. But that's all right. We got rid of him, so he's done. All right, Fred, I hope you weren't hurt by that. Dobbsy, we just love you. I hope that wasn't disturbing for you to see that fucker get fucking deep sixed. All right, let's move on. We got more stories to cover, a lot. So a lot of good news is happening here. Okay. Okay. Big story out of England. Most of people, of course, the vinyl community, Glastonbury, the big rock concert. They have the annual concert. Is it Glastonbury? Help me out, 40. You're out there in Manchester. Is it GL? Glastonbury? Anyway, so they had some guy out there. This is interesting. LGBTQ and pride are an agenda. My daughter is a lesbian. She has come to the reality, realizing that it does nothing but actually hurt the concern of gay people, I believe is what he's saying. Yeah, you're absolutely right for that. Yeah, I get it. You're totally right. And I'm in sympathy. And more than that, Vinyl Gorilla, I am in empathy with you over that. Okay, so I want to go VLAN. The link is called VLAN, and this is another case of fuck around, find out. Now, the tragedy about this guy was calling in concert for the murder of mayoral entities in the United Kingdom. He was wanting IDF, that's the Israeli Defense Force, murdered and killed. This guy's proclaiming this, calling for this. Right now, there's a woman rotting in a British jail for a mean tweet she did. The double standard, the hypocrisy, the non-equitable, comparison between how this cat was treated, how this poor woman's treated. She should be out of prison right now. Because if there was any saving England, that would already be in de facto. England is in a fight for its life. I tell you, United Kingdom genera, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. Here we go. Let's make this big so you can read it. Breaking, the State Department has revoked the visas for British singer Bob Vylan and his band after Vylan led a, quote, death to the IDF chant at Glastonbury. Vylan was set to go on a U.S. tour in late October, which won't be happening. The State Department has revoked the visas for the members and the Vylan band in light of their hateful tirade at Glastonbury, said Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau. Vylan led the crowd in death chants. Foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country. And I don't want to play this because it's just a bunch of nonsense. You see the Palestinian flags there. It's absolutely fucking disgraceful. And so I think it's an incredibly good and judicious and righteous judgment made by the U.S. Government to pull the visa on this idiot and keep him out of the country because they don't need him. The guy's a terrorist sympathizer, and there was just a horrific killing. We don't need terrorists. in the free world, the so-called free world does not need terrorists. And there was one active in Coeur d'Alene. You know, my great-great-grandfather wasn't born there, but he died there. He was an Indian guy. My great-great-grandfather. He went over there. This Louis Lavalley's dad. Louis Lavalley, my great-grandfather. Anyway, my great-great-grandfather ended up there, and he died, married into the tribe. He was part of Coeur d'Alene Indian tribe. Well, some character out there, there's a lot of information. Right now, we're dealing with what some have entitled a fog of war situation with this thing. I don't even know if I've got a link today about it. Other than to say that two firefighters, it was an ambush situation. I think most of you have heard about this by now. All that you just said about the UK is true. I feel like an expert here in Manchester. Well, you are an expert, man. You know your stuff.
Expat.
Yeah, you're expat. Oh, I feel like an expatriate. Yeah, an expat. I got you, expat. Okay, let's go. There's a lot happening. Okay, here's more good news. I just love this good news. This next headline is entitled, "We're in the money." Who doesn't want to be in the money? I want to be in the money. Do you want to be in the money? I want to be in the money. What do we got, Scoozy? All right, let's take a look at this. And this is a clip we'll read, and then we'll play it. There's a clip. Breaking, the United States has collected a record $121 billion in tariff revenue. I'll say it again, 121 bill. We're collecting a lot of revenue from tariffs, and we're expecting another $27 billion increase for the month of June. Can you make that big and play this clip, sweet Sue? Yeah. And I want to say thanks to Sue, as always, for showing these things. Here we go.
How much we've been collecting in revenues. And I did this in part because Wilfred's here and he can talk about the UK trade deal. But just this is the monthly numbers. And they have gone up a lot. June is actually set for another big increase of $27 billion. That is money coming into U.S. coffers from tariffs. We are collecting a lot of revenue. So far, guys, $121 billion has flowed into the U.S. government since the start of the fiscal year. It's still a tiny portion of the overall revenues that the U.S. government gets, but it's increasingly a lot, especially we haven't seen it in terms of the consumer paying off higher inflation. How much we've been collecting.
All right. What I find interesting about that, it's CNN, MSNBC, or CNBC, right? And so there they are, one of the big enemies of Trump. They don't like Trump, but here they are reporting on the effectiveness. And you can see it. It's like a rocket because this term, not the first term, but this term, Trump is coming in hard on tariffs. That's a word we've all learned. If you didn't know the word before this second term, you wouldn't know. Hold that. Got to go to the audience. Great comment here. I got to be honest with you. Getting my ass scratched by a pygmy doesn't sound too bad. Just saying. Okay. I see your point. Maybe that wasn't the right, euphemism. It was the right expression for Brad Teal, but there you got it. Into the coffers. Okay. Yeah, the coffers, right? Not coffins. The coffers, the treasure chests, right? Okay, so great news, 121 billion and shooting up, and we're going to see similar numbers for June. Trump is making deals. He just made one with the UK, and now he's making one with Canada. Doing great. Hey, Henry, how you doing? Nice to see you. Make sure, Henry, have you found me on the other channel, the Ghost 2 channel? I got a music channel where it isn't political. We do a little bit, but not really. The main thrust of it isn't about politics, but if you want to subscribe over there, it's just kind of a music thing. We talk to a bunch of good people, liberals, conservatives, a whole bit, and everybody in between. But right here, the focus is on conservative administration and hopefully seeing. Did I do it right? Yeah, it's Ghost 2. That's the one. Okay. Ghost 2. I done it good there, Scoozy. All right, more headlines, more news. So I'm really happy about that, to see that the tariffs are making, and they're causing the mainstream, the lamestream, the legacy media to sit up and take notice that things are happening that way. Okay. Is this CNN?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, to no one's surprise, CNN is up to chicanery Okay, we don't like chicanery on Ghost Town Politics. Blake and I are very down on chicanery. Chicanery. Let's call the whole thing off. Here we go. Let's go big on this. Unreal. And I don't want to promote this thing. I'm just going to read this. I don't want to play CNN on this. Just lives of TikTok. Great account. You should be subscribed. I love that. Lives of TikTok actually has the gold star by her name as a reporter. This speaks of liberals of Lives of TikTok as being a media entity. I love that. That's great, right? Unofficial in the traditional sense, but this is new media. I love this account. Unreal. CNN now promoting an app which tracks the movement of ICE agents to warn illegals. ICE agents face a 500% increase in assault and threats. CNN knows exactly what they are doing. And I'm telling you, you can just put a link on that for anybody who wants to follow it. And people like Brad Teal will probably want to get the app so he can report ICE. But I'm telling you, man, when the FBI, the Department of Justice is going to get wind of this thing and heads are going to roll. I believe that you fuck around, you will find out. You sow the wind. You know what the Bible calls it? Sowing the wind. Don't sow the wind. You will reap a whirlwind. Sow the wind, reap a whirlwind. Deception by artful subterfuge or sophistry, trickery. He wasn't above using chicanery to win votes. Yes, that's it. And there you can follow the story, see the CNN link for yourself and what they're all up to. But I believe that Pam Bondi and the DOJ are going to have a look at that. Okay, so CNN up to no good, to no one's surprise. Okay. Let's go back to Canada for a sec. I want to talk about awards. I want to talk about the Nobel Peace Prize. People are talking about the president has been nominated for a Peace Prize. He was also nominated in his first term. We know that Barack Obama won the Peace Prize, but this is up here in the Great White North. This is our version of the American Freedom Medal, the Order of Canada, okay? It's pretty big. It's a high honor for Canada. You get to put Order of Canada, OC, after your name. So like the Order of Australia, if somebody's Australia, if they've got their highest award, you can see their name and then OA. So you could be, I would be like Rachel's Ghost, OC, Canadian Order of Canada. And it's meant to impress. The idea is like comes out of the British knighthoods and the symbols of having these awards after your name. But anyway, Ryan Gertson, again, I love Ryan. I still can't get over this. It's a complete slap in the face, overreach, misinformation, discrimination, endlessly promoting an experimental, untested product is not something deserving of an award. Bonnie Henry, Theresa Tam to receive the Order of Canada for their role in some sort of pandemic response. There was a pandemic of some sort, and they're going to be rewarded for it by getting the Order of Canada so they can have OC, Bonnie Henry OC, right? Big, impressive shit. What I'm here to tell you, these awards, the Oscars, the Emmys, Grammys, all these awards that they give out, they're meaningless.
Pulitzer Prize.
The Pulitzer Prize, they're all meaningless. And the reason they're meaningless, they've lost all their meaning because all they are pandering awards to good servants of the system, okay? So what did these individuals do to receive an award, the gratitude of a grateful nation, right? Well, this guy, Gertson, just laid it out for you. He termed what it is. And I'm not going to repeat it. I'm hoping I can get away with just showing that little bit on this platform. But it's problematic. And the same thing with Barack Hussein Obama. When he, Barry Soetoro, I remember when my name was Donald Trump, says Trump.
I like that demonstration that graphic designer did of taking apart his birth certificate.
Well, you can't even do that. We can't even talk about that.
We can't talk about
I don't think we can talk about that.
We can't talk
here.
about the BC.
No, we cannot talk about that.
Some graphic designer had no issue taking apart the BC of a certain president that used to be in office.
Yeah. And because the problem was that the document was done in Adobe Illustrator, but they forgot to, when they put it up there, they left all the layers on. When you save a document, you can choose to save it with layers or not. And for some reason, the idiots at the White House at the time, during the Obama White House, put it out there, put it on whitehouse.gov.gov, right? And you could basically take all the name, the fields, and everything. This was the official document that was accessible for the public. So this guy, graphic designer, pulled it out and he says, holy fuck, they left all the layers. You can take the name out, the birth date, place of birth, all that. You can just move it around however you want. It was all layered because it had been doctored. So that's all you want to say. Yeah, they forgot to, quote, flatten it. Yeah, to use one of the words that we use in, I use, what do they call it? God, what's my program? Hang on, I got a program I use. I use GIMP. Yeah, it's like an open source thing, GIMP, for doing graphic. Because Adobe, who owns Illustrator and Photoshop, they went to a pay-to-play scheme. So you never really own the product, you just rent it every month. And I couldn't justify that. I said, that's ridiculous. So I got out of there. I agree. Even the Pulitzer, Academy Awards too. I'm starting to wonder about PhDs. PhDs are problematic too. What you got to look for, of course, would be the honorary PhDs. So somebody doesn't necessarily have to do the work, but an institution can reward, and it becomes like an honorary. You get this honorary doctorate, right? So you get the initials after your name. So problematic. But this situation with Canada, these two clowns that just got nominated, it means nothing. It doesn't touch my soul, my heart in any way at all. There's a question being raised by some of the legacy media in Canada. We got Canada Day, the anniversary of Confederation, 1867. We're coming up to 1867 to 2025 here. So, you know, do the math on that one. I don't know how fucking old it is. Yeah, it's a game. Exactly right. Exactly right about that. So what I'm trying to tell you is these awards, they're made up and they're meaningless. They're absolutely useless. So and they've lost the public. But the Canadian legacy media is a little worried because they're saying how many are popular, proud to be Canadian, and what is it to be a Canadian? There's a real crisis happening up here in Canada of identity, because Canada is changing so rapidly. The demographic, just like you saw that $221 billion that Trump brought in from tariffs, you're seeing graphs like that with immigration in Canada. We brought in near 1 million people in the first 5 months of this year. 1 million people in a population of 44 million total. So now 45 million. Okay, that's going to make a big difference in the demographic, how the country votes, how it behaves. And certain towns are going to have their entire identity replaced and changed completely. Okay. Holy smokes. Kids fighting in the peanut gallery. Okay, let's keep going with more. There's more headlines. There's so much good stuff happening. Okay, we did that. Okay, let's do the census rolls. Good news, more good news coming. I just love this. And I think this is going to pass. Of course, Trump's got control of the Congress. We just had Tom Tillis, the Republican rhino candidate. I forget where he is. Like, I think he's in North Carolina, possibly. I'm not sure what state. I think it's North Carolina. But he's announced he's retiring. He fought against the big, beautiful bill. The Democrats made the thing be read in the House, and it took 16 hours or some fucking thing to read this thing, 900 pages. They had the little pages, that are in there to read it, the helper kids. Absolutely nonsensical. Not that it's nonsensical to read the bill, that should be. But all the politicians, they were reading to a room where nobody was there. Everybody's out going home sleeping. Chuck Schumer wanted this thing read. And it's just theater. The idea is to rob Trump of any chance of having the big, beautiful bill go through and become legislation before July 4th. Trump wants it on his desk before July 4th so he can announce it on Independence Day. I think it's a great thing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look here. Okay, huge news. This is Eric Daughtry reporting. Huge news. The Trump administration is trying to remove illegal aliens from being counted in the U.S. Census. Very important that this get done. Stephen Miller says this would be detrimental, all caps, detrimental to blue states who harbor illegal aliens and gain, get this, they actually gain House seats and thus presidential electoral votes through illegal aliens. Remove them. The Democrats will lose power if they get rid of these, if they clean up censor rules.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is sponsoring this bill. Doesn't really matter who's sponsoring it. The point is, get it done, get it in there, and make it happen. Henry Lemoyne, you got to relax. My message to you is relax and relax completely. Okay. Because I don't care about the petty goings on between you kids, right? Relax and relax completely. All right, let's move on. Good things are happening. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing pretty good. We got 43 people watching. So I want to thank everybody who's watching on the X platform and also on YouTube. Normally, we don't get this kind of number. I'm very grateful for it. My partner, Blake McKenzie, is not here right now. My lovely wife, Scoozy, working the links and getting them up for your, our collective edification. But ladies and gentlemen, please give us a thumbs up if you're watching the program. Please subscribe. We're new. We're trying to get this thing off the ground. And YouTube is throttling conservative channels like they haven't done in quite some time. So every bit helps, right, kids? Okay, great news here. Let's go to the Fed, okay? Trump is putting increased pressure on the Federal Reserve and the little pixie that's running thing, Powell. He's trouble. And the Carolyn Levitt went out with a press conference today, had this document. And I think what I want to do is play Carolyn because she gives a rundown of what's going on with it. We just witnessed a live murder. This is brutal. She goes over this. Now, what we're looking at here is bank rates for all these countries and where America sits vis-a-vis some other economies. And of course, when you see it laid out like this, you understand that America is not being treated properly by the Fed. They've got to lower interest rates. Here we go.
And if you look at this chart, this is a chart of all of the interest rates of many countries throughout the world. At the top is Switzerland. They're only paying a quarter for interest rates. Cambodia, Japan, Denmark, Thailand, Botswana, Barbados, Taiwan, Bulgaria, Cuba, Sweden, Morocco, Cabo Verde, South Korea, Algeria, Canada, Albania, Libya, Malaysia, China, New Zealand, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good pause.
Czechia, Bolivia, Australia.
Pause it. I wanted Sue to pause it just for 1 second. The reason she's going through this is all these countries she's mentioning are ahead of, they have lower interest rates than the United States, who has a stronger economy than all of them. So the U.S. has a stronger economy, and yet the Fed is suppressing American prosperity. Okay, make her big,
the Bahamas, Kuwait, Papua New Guinea, Bosnia, United Kingdom, and the UAE are all paying lower interest rates than the United States of America, which has one of the hottest and strongest economies in the world. The president sent this note to the Fed chair. It says, Jerome, you are as usual too late. You have cost the USA a fortune and continue to do so. You should lower the rate by a lot. Hundreds of billions of dollars are being lost, and there is no inflation. And if you look at this chart, this is a chart of all of the interest rates of many countries throughout the world.
All right. So Trump there, and now, so there's a lot of pressure on Jerome Powell. Now, I am in the understanding that his term is coming up, and that the chair of the Fed is going to lose his position. And of course, this is independent from the American government, all that sort of thing. But Trump has tremendous power, tremendous influence. His war chest is excellent as well. Okay, Vinyl Gorilla with a prediction. I really think Powell is going to drop the rates in the next 2 weeks. He absolutely has to. Trump is shaming the guy, openly shaming him by putting out this kind of documentation, this kind of evidence. I mean, it's ridiculous that you have some of these third world countries with lower interest rates than the United States. The United States is an engine right now. It's leading the way. We just saw Canada cave to the president as they need to, as they should. Trump is the power. Trump holds the cards. Trump holds the Trump card. These other countries do not. Trump has all the cards. Nobody can out bargain the United States right now. Trump is operating from a complete and total position of unequaled power. Get that in your heads. If you're an American right now, you have every reason to be proud of your president because he's doing absolutely outstanding work. Your economy is on fire. He's reining in the federal chair, the chair of the Federal Reserve. They're breaking down. The FBI's working hard. The Department of Justice. There is so much good stuff coming. Trump said in this first time, we're going to win so much, you're going to be tired of winning. I believe those words are coming true. That is prophetic, not pathetic, as critics of the administration would like to put on. Okay, Sue, you've got a bunch of links there. Let's do lithium batteries. What's going on with lithium batteries? We got some lithium battery trouble. I know I like Duracell.
Well, for all you e-bike owners out there.
Yeah. If you got an e-bike, holy smokes. Okay. Yeah, and you're absolutely right about that. And that's why they put the brakes on it. They put the brakes on it for that very reason. All right. Okay, here we go. So, you've heard about these electronic bikes, these e-bikes, they're battery operated things or something. A massive fire has ripped through a Surrey strip mall. Okay, I guess you can play it.
A massive fire engulfing this electric scooter and bicycle store in Surrey, rendering it and a neighboring not-for-profit grocery store complete losses. A huge plume of smoke visible across much of the lower mainland as the fire, fueled by the lithium-ion batteries of the personal electric vehicles, burst into the night sky.
Yo, this place is on fire.
The fire's still
Yo, this place is on fire. Yeah, I mean, this is fairly obvious. For the love of God.
Look at some.
Yeah, go ahead. What, you're still watching it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just want. What?
Oh, you missed.
No, I got to take it down. What? Did you have an idiot on there? No, another useful idiot? What the fuck? What do you got? Okay. Holy smokes. Anyway, I mean, obviously, there's dangers associated with this stuff. I mean, there's danger with gasoline, but it's not that, the safe and effective that maybe, the left would like you to think. But anyway, lithium battery Bobo. We did Naked Pride. God, spare me from that. I don't want to see that again. Okay, and Carney and the WAF agenda. What's that all about, Sue?
Well,
you got me curious.
For itself.
Okay, well, let's take a look at it. I'm curious. Okay. Crazy thing about lithium: if there's a short out in the battery, it'll catch fire and burn whatever's around it to the ground. I don't trust them. Yeah, I know. I've heard people's smartphones blowing up in people's pockets, and there's a few videos around. You can see it. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. This move right here by Carney jeopardized all trade talks with the United States. There's no way Carney and his government didn't see it coming. You can't just find 80% new trading partners overnight. Fixing our relationship with the U.S. should have been their priority. Instead, they ran to Europe and sold us out. Well, they got triple, double, quadruple problems with that, Sue. Yeah. And the problem with that is, first of all, there's an Atlantic Ocean between Canada and Europe. So that's problematic, number one. The other problem that they have facing themselves is Donald Trump is president on the southern border. I don't believe this president is going to allow a foreign-controlled, anti-American, socialist government to set up house on its border. I don't believe that's going to be allowed. Trump will not allow it. And I think the evidence, the proof in the pudding here, the tasting of the pudding, is the fact that the digital services tax that they were going to put on has failed completely. All right, let's take a look. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Charlie Angus has confirmed it. European socialism is the goal. Canada, Mark Carney working on being part of Europe. This is the most honest thing a Canadian politician said all year. They're not hiding anymore. Well, let's hear what the boy says.
Right now is a nation that doesn't believe in equity and inclusion or under the rule of law. Those are our values. That's why our Prime Minister, Carney, is over in Europe talking about our new future as being part of Europe and no longer part of the United States. If you loved us, you would love us for our values. What we're seeing right now is a nation that doesn't believe in equity and inclusion or under the rule of law. Those are our values. That's why our Prime Minister, Carney, is over in Europe talking about our new future as being part of Europe and no longer part of the United States. If you loved us, you would love us.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, so Carney's got this kind of wish fulfillment thing that his hope lies in Europe, but it's not going to, Trump won't allow it to go. It's just not going to work. And remember this Gander platform that I was talking about at the top of the show, this social media thing that's going to challenge X, it's going to challenge YouTube, it's going to challenge Facebook, etc., American versions, platforms. Trump wouldn't allow it. And because he didn't allow it, that's off the table now. That's gone. Chemo Bjorkroth, it's no way that the weakest and most incompetent. Well, you're full of shit. So I just block you. You're just gone because you're just so full of shit. You're too full of shit to even entertain. You sound like Brad Teal. So I just love it. I control it. This is not, a fun get together with libtards. We're just sitting here telling you the way it is. The fact is, Trump won that battle with Carney, and it's over. And now they're going to go back to the negotiating table, and Trump's going to leave with exactly what he wants. He holds all the cards. He doesn't have to concede a single point. Canada's got to bow. It's like an arm wrestle. Trump's got this thing beat. You don't have a chance in fighting against Trump. You don't have a hope in hell. Hi, before you sign off, hey, Marty, how you doing? Now that, if you're going to be a liberal, do be like Marty. He's a good type of liberal. Smart, pithy. He's more of like an independent thinking type kid. Okay, we'll leave him alone. All right. Okay, can we do Medicaid? I got one on Medicaid. Good news on Medicaid. We got further. So we'll get rid of the illegals on the census rolls, which is going to help the Republicans. Then we're going to do some more help. We're going to get more help. We're taking care of Medicaid. So this administration is doing so many things right for Americans, okay? If you're not American, you're shit out of luck. You're shit out of luck. You're the envy of the free world, apart from that moron that was giving his 2 cents. Mike Lee, federal benefits are for Americans, not illegal aliens. I added language to the big, beautiful bill to make that clear. Just in, over 1.4 million illegals will be kicked off Medicaid if the big, beautiful bill passes. I'm going to read that again. 1.4 million illegals are going to be kicked off Medicaid if the bill passes. The fact that they were ever able to receive it, even to start with, that's insane. So really good news on that front. 1.4. What that means is that's real savings for you. Money that is designated to non-Americans is now going to be freed up, and available for American citizens to consume, as it should be. America for America. What part of America first don't liberals get? America first for Americans. God bless America. And I love the contrast between Canada, Britain, and all these other nations that are kowtowing. Even that is a statement, kowtowing China, that sort of thing. And you've got Poliver with his dookie cookie coo, doing his pandering thing. I can't stand it. And here you got Trump under God. And when they did the obliteration of the Iranian nuclear development sites, enrichment sites, Trump said, we pray for the safety. God, we pray for the safety. We love you, God. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Blessed is the nation. And I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse them that curse you. There's a reward for following after God and doing that which is pleasing in the Lord's eyes. There's a reward. God is faithful and just and will recognize it. Tom Tillis, very unpopular in North Carolina. Well, he's retired, and now we need to get a MAGA candidate into North Carolina. There cannot be no more rhinos. They all got to go, got to clear out. Also, good news on, I was reading Trump's war chest is overflowing. There's a lot of money there, a lot of money. This is so biblical. You know, there's an old guy that used to float around in the Substacks and out there somewhere on the 4chan and stuff. And this guy used to say, it's going to be biblical.
Oh, that guy.
It's going to be biblical. And I'm telling you, it's going to be biblical, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be freaking biblical. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 12:58. We're going to end with one more story where we've been following very closely developments with Alligator Alcatraz. Alligator Alcatraz. We can't pass a day without looking in. It's the very last of the links I put in. Alligator Alcatraz. What's going on with the most exciting building project that the U.S. is undertaking right now, pardon the pun. Here we go. Alligator. What the heck? Look at that. It's an alligator, kids. I just love that. Okay, so, and there we go. Okay, now what's the headline? What's the headline say? Okay, hold on. Just read that. Starting tomorrow, yeah, they're opening Alligator Alcatraz opens tomorrow. There's the alligator, big ice. There's some bad bumpinos. Trigger a liberal today with these two words: Alligator Alcatraz. Holy smokes, Alligator Alcatraz. Isn't that a thing of beauty? There's the crux on there. So I guess these gators, they're floating around and it's doing the thing. Are you dumb or something? I don't know, fucktard, but you're blocked. Okay, that was good. He made a brief but staggering appearance on the program. But yeah, Alligator Alcatraz, looking forward to the establishment of it. I'm excited. I know you're excited. And we'll be following all the events. I believe the president himself is going to be down in the glades to see the official opening of it. I'm excited. You're excited too, I can tell. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're here for an hour each day, 12. We call it the Political Nooner. Blake will be back hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely on Wednesday, where we do an extended program. I miss him. It makes my job a lot easier when Blake's here. Thanks, everybody. Thumbs up on the program and subscribe if you find